Hey folks, Sergeant Matt here. So you guys seem to like these little tools. Here's another one. You don't have to eat all the time. Think about it, okay? A lot of you talk about having issues going to sleep because you're hungry or you feel like getting another snack or whatever the case may be. Well, the reason being is you're used to eating all the time. Most of you. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. If there's a candy jar at the office, you grab a piece. If somebody brings cupcakes or bagels in the morning, you grab one. If somebody's like, hey, I made this whatever last night, you want a bite? You try it, right? You're always eating at random times, random things. And there's nothing wrong with that, but here's the thing. We all know that the success of a diet plan is, it's all about energy balance at the end of the day, fundamentally, right? Any evidence-based practitioner, doctor, dietitian, coach that knows their stuff, they're going to tell you one way or another, it's fundamentally energy balance. However, the X's and O's notwithstanding doesn't account for psychology, all right? If during the day, when you're busy doing stuff and you don't need to eat, but you still are, you're like, oh, I'm working and I'm going to grab a bite to eat. I'm doing this and I'm going to grab this. And I'm doing this and I'm going to grab this. How do you think you're going to have the wherewithal to not feel like eating something when you're trying to sleep at night, laying still, it's quiet, it's dark, you're not doing anything? So the first thing that's going to pop into your head is, oh, I'm not doing anything, like kind of hungry, right? You become food focused because you trained yourself to be that way. Food is a drug for a lot of people in our culture. I'm not saying food is drugs, right? It's not like cocaine or nicotine or anything like that. But what I'm saying, though, is the culture is similar, right? It's a thing that we go to for comfort. It's a thing that we go to when we're bored. We just train ourselves to use food to fill in these like gaps in our life, to fill in this dead space in our life. So, all that to say, right, is that the tool for today is try not eating all the time. Don't snack. So instead of eating breakfast and then having a bite of this and having this piece of candy and having a sip of this soda and having whatever, right? Just eat a meal and then for the next couple hours, just do this. Just drink some water or nothing. And then in a couple hours, eat another meal, not a snack. What do I mean by a meal? I mean a meal has at least protein plus another macro, okay? So just chips is not a meal. Just a can of soda or some juice is not a meal. Just a piece of fruit is not a meal because there's no protein. Just carbs is not a meal. Just fat is not a meal. Protein plus at least one other macro, okay? Or just protein is fine too, right? There's a lot of reasons for that I can make a whole series of videos on. I could talk hours about that, okay? Suffice to say, make meals, eat them, and then in between those meals, spend 1, 2, 5, 6 hours and don't eat anything. Let that meal digest, and then when you start to actually be hungry and need to eat, then you eat again. So you're not restricting your calories, you're not restricting your carbs, macros, protein, none of that. You're still eating the same amount of food, you're just eating it in designated blocks, okay? This way, you don't have to have this massive pendulum swing between like, I'm gonna do a 72-hour water-only fast. I'm gonna do a 3-week apple fast or whatever ridiculous thing Kali Muscle's doing right now, right? You don't need to do any of that stuff. If you want to, that's fine. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not prescribing anything. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor, okay? Disclaimer warning, right? But I've been doing this for 28 years. I'm obviously pretty good at it. And so what I'm telling you is stuff that works, okay? The X's and O's of a good diet plan are the calories, are the macros, are your energy balance. But the problem is can you stick to the plan? And if you train yourself to constantly be reaching for food every time nothing's going on, then what do you think's gonna happen when you're trying to go to sleep? You're gonna be reaching for food. And then you'll go 2-3 days or 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then you'll crack. Or you'll have a will of iron and you'll have this long, like 8-week string or 12-week string, or you'll do some challenge or whatever, and then somebody hits your car, or you have a bad day at work, or you get into an argument with your spouse or something, right? Or you get sick. Life happens and then you fall off the wagon because the psychology isn't there. You haven't trained yourself to just be used to even brief periods of time of not eating. Ask yourself, those of you that listen to this video, ask yourself honestly, how long do you go any given time throughout the day without eating anything? Time it. Tomorrow, time it. Or starting from the time you watch this video. Go, when's the last time that you ate something, put food in your mouth, something with calories, and then when's the next time? Even if it's a piece of gum, what's the interval between your meals? I guarantee you, for most of you, it's not even an hour. So try to train yourself to just go without food during the day when you're doing other things, so it's easy to not think about food. It's easy to not be food fixated. And then after a while, it starts changing the reward mechanism in your brain so that you don't require immediate gratification every time you feel a little bit upset, or you're a little bored, or something goes wrong, or you're a little hungry. Because remember, folks, we live in a time of abundance. You know, for the most part, we're all within 10 paces of something with nutrition. All I gotta do is, go over there to the mini fridge and I got something with nutrition. I mean, shoot, I could just basically scoot my chair over and I got some nori there, I got some barbecue sauce there. You know what I mean? So like, I don't even have to get out of my chair and not starve. That's the same for most of us. But here's the thing, in a state of nature, you gotta figure hunger isn't a sensation of, I better eat or I'm gonna die right now. It's, I'd better go start looking for something to eat because I'll need to eat soon. Hunger lets you know to start thinking about food, but you don't need it right this second. Trust me, you can go an hour or two without eating a couple times during a 24-hour period and you're not gonna die. And it's not even gonna be that uncomfortable, right? It's just gonna be a slight change in behavior so that you train yourself to not immediately go for food just because it's available. And that's it.